What is up, guys? It's Cal, and in this video we're going to be talking about BlizzCon, specifically World of Warcraft stuff. Of course, that's what this channel is about. At BlizzCon, they've showed a new Overwatch hero, which was pretty cool. They also announced a new Diablo expansion and said there would be a new class in Diablo, but they didn't say what the class was. But World of Warcraft, I'll be going over what they showed for retail and classic. So let's just get right into it. We're going to start off with the retail first, of course. The man himself, Chris Metzen, came out on stage and told everyone to yell for the Alliance or for the Horde. Just some typical political polarization, you know how it is. Then he stalled for a good 10 minutes before he got into the next expansions. Not expansion, but multiple expansions. So essentially what Blizzard is doing is like some sort of Taylor Swift Eras Tour where they went ahead and told us what the next 3 expansions would be called and referenced this time period as the World Soul Saga. Final Fantasy has done something like this, so hopefully it works out for Blizzard. The storyline of the World Soul Saga is essentially the sword, that thing in Silithus, yeah, that sword. They remember that sword, apparently. Well, these next 3 expansions will have a story arc of what that sword has essentially done to Azeroth. The names of the expansions are The War Within, Midnight, and The Last Titan. And they said that The War Within will be releasing in fall of 2024. I'm a little torn on this whole saga idea and announcing 3 expansions at once. There's always that hype of when an expansion is announced and what it could possibly have in it, but we essentially already know what that will be for the next 3. But we'll see how it plays out. The War Within has us go underground into the heart of Azeroth and engage with the Earthen and Nerubians. The Earthen are a new allied race. Well, we know who the Earthen are, but they will be a new allied race. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Midnight has us return to the old world. They specifically mentioned Quel'Thalas, and in this expansion, the Void has taken over Azeroth. I don't know if it's going to be a whole new world revamp or what, but that's just what they said. And then The Last Titan has us go back to Northrend, and we'll be seeing the Titans return to Azeroth at Ulduar. My assumption in this expansion we'll finally see Azeroth as a fully fledged Titan, since it's a World Soul. So with The War Within, they showed the cinematic. It was a talk fest between Anduin and Thrall. You can very obviously tell the cinematic was done with mocap because Anduin looks pretty similar to Josh Keaton, his voice actor. He doesn't look so much how he did back during the BFA cinematic, although that cinematic did come out 6 years ago and people do get older, even fictional people. Anyways, they of course showed a features trailer of the expansion, which was Illyria Windrunner having some sort of schizo episode through Dalaran, since she is like possessed by the Void or something. The new continent that we'll be going to is Kaz Algor. It's located as a fissure between Kalimdor and Pandaria, so I guess it's not Avaloran, technically, like all the leaks said. It does have 4 zones in it. All of them are underground, although by the looks of it, just one of them actually feels underground because it kind of looks like the Zarlek Caverns. There are the Earthen. They will have a new renowned reputation for them, which will be tied to unlocking them as an allied race that can fight for the Horde or the Alliance. And then there's the Arathi race. We'll be helping them against the Darkness, the Void, whatever. And then finally the Nerubians, who are the enemies of the expansion for the most part, and their leader is Xal'atath, who seems to be the final boss of the expansion. We got a glimpse of her back in Legion with the, I think it was the Priest artifact weapon. Now, I don't believe all of the Nerubians will be bad. There are some who aren't fans of Xal'atath, so we will be helping them in battle. The first zone is the Isle of Dorne. This is where the main hub will be, the main city capital. Then the Ringing Deeps. I believe this is the one that looks more underground because it's actually located beneath the Isle of Dorne. And then Hollowville, which is where the Arathi are stationed. And then finally Kahit, or Kahit. I don't know how to say it. The major city of the Nerubians. And all of the zones are connected by tunnels like these Zarlek Caverns, but there are no load screens between the zones, which is pretty cool. And you can do dragon flying with normal mounts through these zones. There will be 8 new dungeons, 4 dungeons that are leveling: the Rookery, the Stone Vault, Priory of the Sacred Flame, and City of Threads. Then the level cap dungeons: Cinderbrew Meadery, Dark Flame Cleft, the Dawnbreaker, and Old City. Oh, and the level cap is, of course, going up to level 80. So there's a new raid, Narubar Palace. It's an 8-boss raid. We don't know the bosses as of yet. We just know the final boss is the Nerubian Queen. Okay, so the systems of the expansion. Systems is always kind of a buzzword or a trigger word for some, but these features, systems, seem to be quite nice actually. So one of the features is called delves. You can do these solo or with people between groups of 1 and 5. They seem to very similar to like scenarios in Mist of Pandaria or like island expeditions from BFA. They're just like outdoor world experiences. That's how they describe them. Every season the style of delves will change. So first we'll be joining the Dragon Scale expedition looking for lost treasure, and there will be an NPC accompanying you. So for season 1 that is Bran Bronzebeard. There will also be a new Great Vault row added for these types of activities. I don't know how competitive that will be for Mythic Plus or against Mythic Plus, but we'll see. The next big system, which I'm more excited about than the last, is warbands, which what that is, it's account-wide everything. That's what warbands are. You and your alts are a warband. You're in a warband. That means account-wide reputation and account-wide transmog. So in other words, I can get plate transmog gear on my hunter, which is definitely cool. But yeah, so account reputation as well. It's pretty cool stuff. And then the third system, which I think I'm more excited about than the previous two, are hero talents. It's kind of like an ascension version of your spec. So each spec will have 2 hero talent trees. The example that they gave was for warriors. Their 3 hero talent trees are Mountain Thane, Colossus, and Slayer. Fury has Mountain Thane and Slayer. Arms has Slayer and Colossus, and Protection has Colossus and Mountain Thane. And you can of course swap between them at no cost, just like with your regular talents. So this system will unlock at level 71, and you get a hero talent points for each level until 80. So a total of 10 points. And that's that. That is the World of Warcraft retail section of it all. So let's do a little recap. Too long didn't read version. 3 new expansions: The War Within, Midnight, and The Last Titan. The War Within focuses on the Earthen, Arathi, and Nerubian. Earthen are a new allied race, Xal'atath being the big baddie. Kaz Al Ghor is the new continent. 4 new zones, 8 new dungeons, a new raid, delves, warbands, and hero talents. And level 80 is the new level cap. Now let's take a look into a WoW Classic. So this will be pretty short and sweet. So first thing they opened with is Cata Classic. Classic Cataclysm. My personal take, I'm not a huge fan of Cata Classic, because for me, what makes Classic is the old world, which all gets changed with Cataclysm, so I probably won't be playing it. I'm currently playing Classic Wrath, which I'm enjoying, but I'm sure someone out there is happy for Cata Classic, and it will be releasing early 2024, which is a bit surprising since ICC just came out and they still have Ruby Sanctum to do. They also did mention a new Classic Hardcore is coming out early next year. This was kind of leaked already, a self-found version of Hardcore where you can't trade or use the auction house. I don't think you can use a mailbox until level 60. They said during the panel that all of that actually unlocks at max level. And all of that was how Hardcore originally was like before official Hardcore came out. And then the bigger announcement is Season of Discovery. They mention as the crowd slightly boos. So originally, people saw this as not a Classic Plus, but when they did the next panel where they dived deeper into it, it definitely looked more like a Classic Plus. So that was good. And it'll be interesting to see it because Season of Mastery was kind of a disappointment. But Season of Discovery is like the one WoW private server. I think it's called like WoW Ascension, except now it's official, where you can be a tank warlock or a healing mage. You can have attributes of all different specs, a hunter that casts spells, a priest who melees, which is basically a paladin. You can do all sorts of customization. This is done through a new system called Rune Engraving, which you know at character creation, and quests will award you runes that you can put on your gear that give you all sorts of different kinds of spells. A lot of spells are spells that are in retail today, like Lone Wolf for hunters, for example. The starting level cap for Season of Discovery will be level 25, and they said they'd raise it by like 5 levels every month or something, I don't know. Every so often, they'll raise it by 5 levels. One of the raids that we'll be able to do is Black Fathom Deeps, which is a 10-person raid. This will be coming out on November 30th, actually, of this year. So only a few more weeks. And there will be no PTR, so it'll be filled with bugs like a normal Blizzard game should be. So that's it. A Retailer Classic. 3 new WoW expansions and 1 season of Discovery. Interesting stuff. I'd like to know what you all are excited for. Personally, I do think the next expansion does look cool. The trailer of it did make me feel a little more hype than Dragonflight, but not as hype as Shadowlands, I'll be honest. But also Shadowlands was a horrible expansion. A lot of hype, bad expansion. Kind of like Warlords of Draenor. Anyways, the War Within seems cool. So there you have it, guys. That's the entire video. If you liked it, feel free to leave a like on it. You can sub to the channel for more videos like this, and I will see you all in the next video.